Sharn, which is a really big city. A lot of opportunity. And, all houses really have influence there. A lot of opportunity for jobs. And they started to dabble. And then I don't know if that's where they met Bolt. I'm trying to decide if this thing's gendered. I think it's sort of a she. That's why the flowers. We're trying to capture some sort of identity around a gender and wanting to look maybe a little feminine. But they don't look at feminine at all. So they do flowers as an attempt.
Something I would say to you, Pam, is that after the war, the Warforged were built as these machines, to fight in the war. Mm-hmm. After the war, some of the Warforged, once they started just carving their own paths and making their own way in the world, once they were given sort of rights to exist as independent citizens of Eberron, some of the Warforged began having dreams like humanoids. Has your Warforged started dreaming yet?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Oh God, Ryan, you know this Eberron stuff. I just don't know what the dreams are yet. I mean, of course, I don't like to create too specific of a backstory because I like when you plunk something down on me and then I have to do it.
Sure. So you don't. They're just something that you don't remember any of them. You just know that you're having them.
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, and they're kind of excited about that because.
Have you told Jin about any of your dreaming?
I don't know. Are we good friends?
You traveling together?
We've been. Yeah, I don't know if we're. I'll leave whether or not we're friends up to you, but we've definitely been working together for a very long time.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I don't know if this relationship is mostly just professional or if Blitz has opened up. Is it Jin or is it Bolt?
You're Bolt.
Oh no, I am Bolt the player.
Oh, sorry, gotcha. Yeah. Oh yeah, you're Blitz. Yeah. Blitz, Bolt.
Yeah, so I'm Blitz. I just put Krieg in parentheses because, that's their full name, but they don't like that part. Anyway.
So now the two of you are on a mission for House Thrask, but I guess, Jin, that means that during the war, you were also... are you a member of House Cannith, or are you?
No. I was a third-party contractor.
Okay.
A refugee from the Shadowfell that sort of stumbled into Eberron, and then through a series of events found himself doing mercenary work for Kenneth, and then over time he sort of rose to the ranks.
So you've done a bit of multiverse traveling.
Yeah, a little bit. He's well traveled.
How do you think that you made your way from the Shadowfell all the way to Eberron?
From Shadowfell to Eberron, he probably stumbled into a rift somewhere.
Because the Shadowkai, like, there's a version of them on Eberron, but they're not like from the Shadowfell. They would be like from the continent of not Corvair. There's like an undead continent that's all undead stuff, and I can't remember the name of the continent. But on Eberron, there's a continent that revolves around undeath, and that's where like the
Zoriat or something.
That's where like the Shadowkai would have been from.
Okay.
On Eberron.
Then let's put us there.
Yeah.
To start with.
It's okay either way. You could have been from the Shadowfell and made your way early on over to Eberron and kind of liked that world and built a life there. That's okay too,
Yeah, my background is he's a sort of a child of misfortune who has sort of scrambled his way up from ruin to sort of where he is now.
Karnath. Yeah, it's Karnath is the continent with the
Yeah.
dead.
Hmm.
Yeah. And it is House Cannith that is that created the original world.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
light rail, the lightning rail. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, it's all starting to come back to me now.
Yeah. Magical items and Warforged. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the two of you have been working for House Thrask for a time. I guess I imagine doing the sort of thing that you're currently doing, the mission you're currently on, which is when a mercenary or a bounty hunter for House working for House Thrask goes and travels to another world. The two of you go ahead as a scouting team and prepare, gather information about the world that the bounty hunter is going to arrive on, so you can help them blend in when they get there. How do you think the two of you arrived? Did the two of you want to have a ship, or did you want to have been like teleported?
We can take a ship if you'd like, but Jin has plane shift.
Then we'd probably do that if that's in your.
Yeah.
You'd be like, let's just do that. I'm not taking a.
Sure.
I'm not
For
taking no ship.
For some reason, I've got this sort of headcanon where Jin is like, "All right, I've got this mission to do this stuff for House Thrask," and then he goes to Blitz and says, "Hey, why don't we take a vacation in Faerun? It'll be fun."
A vacation.
Yeah. There are opportunities in Faerun. You should check it out. Sort of broaden your horizons.
I mean, I would guess that. What's my character's name? Blitz. Wow, this is like, oh, come on. Blitz would be like vacation. Like that would not be a word that I probably would have to ask. What does that word mean? Is that like vaccination? I don't need those. So role play explaining a vacation to Blitz. No.
It is
vacation.
traveling to a yet unheard of location for the purposes of enrichment and entertainment.
Do we go killing?
It's entirely possible. I won't rule it out.
Do we procure a resource?
I've got this job, you see, for House Thrask. But no, it was just one little like piece of. We can do the serious bit.
So is there a job and a non-job? So the non-job is doing recreational things?
Yeah, no. Our job was to basically gather more intel on the ground, so that when Mercy arrives, that she has more on-site intel. So we were. My thought was we were sent out about a year or two in advance.
Oh, really? So you guys have been here for a little while?
Yeah.
Is it or whatever works?
No, that's fine. I mean, that this part of it's kind of up to you guys.
Well, I mean, the collecting flowers. I don't know if there's a lot of flowers in Sharn. Sharn's like that tower city where it's just stacked.
Yeah, for sure.
On top of itself, so it's very, steampunkish. Yeah. You don't really think fields of flowers. So, yeah. So actually, she asked you to refer to them as she. Has a lot of flowers now.
A pertinent issue that the two of you probably have, since you've been here for maybe a year or two now, is that you're running low on your supply of dragon shards. So you both know that it is quite possible that soon Blitz will power down.
Yeah, that's not fortuitous for this to happen.
And you've been conserving your magical reservoirs for probably a little while now, Jin.
Got it.
So let's like mechanically resolve that now. Jin, you have 2 dragon shards left, and Pam, you have 1 dragon shard left, which means essentially that Jin, you can fire your gun or cast 40 spells, or take a combination of spells and shots. You have like 40 charges basically left in your dragon shards, and Pam, you have 20 before basically you're out of magical energy on this world.
Okay. Got it.
One dragon shard is like a quiver of arrows. You've 20 uses.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there a shop that sells dragon shards? I think we miscalculated.
They can't be created.
Could we use your planar ability to?
We'll make your situation even more dire.
Thanks. This giant creature.
You have had, some encounters over the course of the last couple years in Faerun here, and your communications device that you use to communicate back to Eberron has been damaged beyond repair as well. So you've also lost communication with House Thrask and Eberron entirely.
Oh, what are the chances that I couldn't figure out a solution to that in 2 years?
Oh, nice.
Pretty low, because the technology is so much higher than what it is on Faerun. But I guess you could make maybe like do you have any proficiencies in any tools?
Gunsmithing and thieves' tools. But those are from my trance ability, so I can change them at every long rest.
Okay, give me an Arcana check, or a check with your thieves' tools using intelligence.
We'll go ahead and use Arcana because I have big brain.
Okay, you have repaired your communication device, but the problem is that you have to use your dragon shards to power it, so you don't like using it very often. So you can send
mind if I hop in here?
You can send and receive messages, but every time you do, it costs you a charge off your dragon shard.
Oh, great.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So the two of you have been.
Oh, you've been here 2 years. We really suck.
Actually, I was going to ask if I could hop in and just add what we had discussed in DMs.
Yeah, sure.
If you don't mind.
Yeah.
I think correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe what we had decided on is Mercy knows Jin, having had worked with him before, as far as she trusts his intel and stuff to be reliable, but she knows he also doesn't do field work, so it's kind of one of those reliable acquaintance things.
Sure.
That they have worked together before.
I guess the only ththing that I just like on a connecting the dots sort of level, the only thing that I would wonder is, like, how did House Thrask know that 2 years from now they'd be sending Mercy to Faerun?
Divination magic?
Yeah, that's possible, I guess. I'll have to think about that.
Possible.
Sorry,
I was going to say, would it be possible that they just went not knowing he was going to be sent, so they were just gathering intel for whoever was going to arrive?
Oh, that's a good idea too. Yeah.
There you go. So say, wow, our backstory here is like a little shaky.
The two of you have been.
I figured that.
Yeah, the two of you have been. The two of you have been blending in here on Faerun for a little while, working for House Thrask. Just gathering intelligence, basic intelligence on other worlds, and your communication device one day, Jin, starts beeping, flashing, like you have a message from House Thrask back on Eberron. And with a heavy heart, you know that you're gonna have to, plug in your dragon shard there to receive the message.
Yep. We pushed the button.
Can you, Mercy? Can you remind me? Because I didn't write it down. What was the name of the general that you had a conversation with before you left? Do you remember his name?
Let me check because I've been taking exhaustive notes.
Same.
I can't remember. I thought I had been at least writing names down, but all of my post-it notes are gone, and I don't
Oh
know.
no, exhaustive as in who goes and uses what in combat and whether each attack hits or misses.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh.
You said it was the head of the Finders Guild, Derek Velderon?
Belderon, yeah, there we go. So you receive a message from Belderon, Jin, and it says, we have someone arriving in Faerun. They're hunting a war criminal by the name of I'm just blanking on all the names.
Windfall?
Windfall. She's going to need some help. This person in our employ, they are confrontational, or can be, and they're going to need some help blending in when they arrive to Faerun. So when she gets there, her location will start bleeping on your communication device, and you'll be able to track her down. And sure enough, a few days later, maybe 10 days later, your communication device, which has like a variety, it's like a Pip-Boy in Fallout, it's got a variety of functions, and you get a little location ping on your communication device that shows that this person has arrived. It gives you like a little dossier of like who they are and their current location, which is in the city of Neverwinter, which is probably near or is the city that you guys have been sort of blending in around.
Colder than he's used to, but what have you.
And so you get together with Blitz, and the two of you, I guess, you start to follow your tracking device to locate your the new arrival from your world of Eberron. All right, and the rest of you, you are down in the Neverdeath Catacombs in the cemetery of Neverwinter. You guys have accepted a job from Lord Neverember, the protector of the city of Neverwinter, its current ruler. He's told you guys that 4 prominent citizens have been kidnapped, gone missing over the last week or so, and he's looking for a discreet recovery of these members of these citizens of the city. You guys accepted his request, and you have made your way into this mausoleum, where you have discovered some undead, and already recovered one of the prisoners, a sorceress who has lost her powers in a recent trip to the Outer Planes. She told you of a vision she had during a psychic ritual she was performing, and now you guys are standing before this door that has a symbol of a hand holding an eyeball painted above it. You guys have learned that the room before you, you found a series of bells hanging from ropes, and you learned that the tone of which the bells ring when the cult members pass through there from the sorceress that you rescued. From behind you, you can hear some footfalls coming from kind of like where you guys entered. Jin and Blitz, the two of you, you find this mausoleum. You track the location of Mercy, and you go down this set of stairs and make your way into... you pass by a few little piles of ash and some coffins, and you can see before you, in a large room, the person that you're looking for from Eberron, as well as some of her traveling companions.
You would be the contact we are meant to meet, correct? Mercy. It's been a while.
Jin, indeed it has. You're the ones that Velderon sent here, then?
Yes, we were sent ahead to gather intel on the ground. And clear the way for the House Trath's agents. Which appears to be you.
Do the two of you want to kind of describe in a little more detail, like the intricacies of your characters?
Sure. Mercy, you want to go first?
Sorry, did you say me?
After you.
Okay. Mercy is a 7-foot-tall woman with slightly pointed ears and small fangs and kind of claw-tipped fingers. Her most striking feature is her hair, which is jet black but has like a silvery white at the nape of her neck. Currently she has a cloak over from when she was trying to travel without extra suspicion through Neverwinter. But I imagine you would probably be aware that under that cloak she probably has her rifle as well as her 2 blades.
Yep.
After you.
I'll go next. This 5'11" humanoid figure, very lithe, is really shrouded head to toe in cloak and some sort of armored robe. He has a very intricate silver mask on his face, and carries around a pistol that is not visible. But there's very little to distinguish him from just your average person on the street, since he's pretty much covered head to toe.
Now,
There's
has
no,
Mercy... Oh, sorry. Have Mercy and Blitz met before? Or is it just the connection between Jin and Mercy?
It depends on how long you've been working with Jin, probably.
How long have I known you, Jin?
possible.
Well, did I know you in the war?
A very long time. Wouldn't surprise me if Mercy was at least aware of you, tangentially.
Okay.
But I'll leave whether or not you've met up to you.
Well, Jin, I have a little sort of photo of a warforged head with the flowers, and you would notice that like there are subtle attempts to look less blocky and robot-like. So they are wearing a hood to sort of cover the, because even in Faerun, there's like things called nimble rights that are made sort of like, in some of the bigger cities, seeing something that's mechanical isn't necessarily totally bizarre, but talking and walking and being humanoidish and acting like a person is probably... So there is an attempt to sort of cover up the face. But they're sort of wearing like some feminine clothing over what is their metallic body. So it almost looks like a corset. They're trying to look... Anyway, and it's sort of subtle because it's nothing really bright colored, and it's not a dress. They are wearing trousers over. They're not like just a mechanical thing with no clothing. They actually have a lot of clothing on to cover all the metal.
Lilith, Mavathor, do you guys want to go?
Sure. So Lilith is a Dampier. She's got slighted, pointed fangs. Not very long. You can only really see them when she talks. Pointed ears, very pale, crimson eyes. She kind of wears a cream and orange armor. And she's got a pet direwolf named Fangs, which is a big ball of fluff.
Is Fangs with you right now?
Is that it right there?
I think I gave you in your folder. You should have a Fangs now that you can access and move around.
Oh, cool.
But on your actual screen, that fluffy thing, is that a representation?
Right here. Here she is.
So yeah, I'll go next. So Mavathor is a tiefling. He's wearing some half plate currently that's covered with some religious looking vestments. Most notably, however, you see what appears to be a religious symbol floating near his forehead. I don't know if they have Asmodeus and Eberron, but if they do, you'd probably recognize it quickly. And he also has a crown that what description of it? It's made of dark iron. It sits on his head, but you can definitely feel the sheer radiant power coming off of it, of just dread and power.
I think the symbol would be foreign to them had they not been here for so long, learning about Faerun. Right.
Okay, so yeah, you probably then recognize the symbol of Asmodeus, and if you've heard the news, you probably know that their exploits in Avernus and how the new Archduke of Avernus has taken up residence in Baldur's Gate.
And then our missing player, you guys also see a handsome elven-looking man who's about 5.5 feet tall, with some shining armor and a set of sort of angelic-looking wings, some kind of sandy blonde hair, and they are very friendly, or they would be if they were not currently under a contract to not be friendly to everyone at the moment. So,
Mavathor will look over to Mercy and say, "Mercy, do you know these people?"
Yes, they act as advanced intelligence gathering for me and others before we go to New Worlds in hunt of our bounties.
Interesting.
Yes,
this is...
Go ahead. Oh.
No, she was just going to introduce them. This is Jin, and the flowery one is Blitz.
I see. They had mentioned some noble houses, though I'm not familiar with those names.
They are more from our neck of the woods and would not be known around here.
I have suspicion, but it'll be like, all right. I don't suppose they are here to help us purge this cult of Vecna.
That is
Well, that might
Mercy's
depend on what
wisdom.
intelligence they have. Very good.
Yes, DM. What intelligence do we have after a year or two of snooping around?
I got a bunch of flowers. I
Um,
like the flowers here.
Wait, are they real flowers?
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of dried.
Okay.
Is it winter?
They're like book pressed.
Yes.
What's
So
some
I don't
leper
have to
gonna
worry
come
about them with Mercy's sensitive nose.
over the
Hang on. Yeah.
you learned a bit about a year ago. You guys learned a bit about some death cults that were causing a lot of trouble in the city of Baldur's Gate. And then shortly after that, an entire city, a city called El Terrell, was ripped out of the earth and transported to the first layer of the Nine Hells, where for about 6 months the inhabitants of El Terrell sheltered in their city under the wings of the Archduke Older Ravengard as a band of adventurers battled against the forces of devils and demons as something called the Blood Wars bubbled to the surface of Toril. Eventually, war was resolved. The people of El Terrell were freed and sent back to the material plane, and most of the information that you've gathered over that period of time has just been about the Blood Wars and devils and demons. This cult of Vecna that Mavathor just spoke of is a new thing.
So basically, what you just described is what the party that has been playing together has accomplished. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which only
Did you
two
guys
which only two of the members from that party have continued with their characters into this adventure. Two of the other ones made new characters.
Oh, okay. Wait, who's from back?
So Mavathor and Lepus, the two that are there, they are the characters who have carried over. And Lilith is new, and then I guess our other member had made a new character, but they've got to take care of some personal stuff, so they are not going to come back.
Okay.
And then Mercy is a new addition.
Oh,
So the cult of Vecna.
So we know of the cult of Vecna then.
The cult of Vecna is known. Vecna themselves is known throughout the multiverse, differently depending on which world you're from. Vecna is Vecna on Eberron is known as the Whispered King,
Okay.
and but as far as the cults of Vecna, this is the first that you guys are hearing anything about it. The death cults that were involved in all the events of that took place in Baldur's Gate and El Terrell were related to the gods of the other gods of death and murder, Baal, Merkel, and I can't remember the third one off the top of my head. Bane, yeah, Baal, Merkel, and Bane. and these new adventurers and old adventurers have just recently learned about the cult of Vecna through just recent discovery. So it's not something that's been known to them for very long. Out of character, there's been about 2 or 3 months since like the end of their previous adventure until now. So they just been sort
doing
of
Vecna things.
Vecna is doing Vecna things, but their discovery is basically just started happening now. And in certain ways, some of the characters have been sort of touched by Vecna. Vecna's name and existence has been spoken to Lilith through some stuff that happened where she's from, and then Mercy, although I don't think she knows, she has encountered Vecna's minions, and Mavathor and Lepus are just kind of on the same page as everyone else.
We did have a brief brush with him in Avernus.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Vecna, in Avernus, at one of the last couple final battles, Vecna showed up during that battle in Avernus and took his hand back from a dragonborn who was causing trouble down in Avernus, named Archon the Cruel. And had been wearing Vecna's hand, and Vecna showed up and took his hand, killed the Dragonborn, cut his hand off, and took it back, and informed those adventurers to enjoy their victories while they can. So they did have a brief encounter with Vecna.
Oh, okay. Would we know some of that or not? We wouldn't know it until they told us.
Yeah, you wouldn't know that until they told you. So,
Yeah, okay.
Really, for the most part, all of you are pretty much like on an even
like,
playing
hi.
field. Yeah, all of you are kind of on an even playing field in terms of unveiling Vecna and his mysteries.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, but I mean, I gotta look weird. I'm guessing I gotta be really weird to these people.
Well.
I think Lep would really be into...
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they've seen some pretty weird stuff by now, so...
Okay.
Yeah.
You just take it with it like, oh, new, interesting. This robot wearing a corset.
They've encountered some mechanical stuff as well before. They've encountered some flying vessels and some mechanical stuff in Avernus as well. So, I think you'd probably be the strangest to Lilith.
Oh yeah, Lilith is definitely like staring you down.
All right.
She turns to Mavathor. She goes, "What is that thing?"
And I'm guessing. Well, a Damphir is like aren't you kind of almost dead or something?
Half dead.
Mostly
dead.
dead.
And is that super apparent? I mean, but I don't know. I mean, of course, Warforged and Eberron has a plethora of weird ass creatures, and
I mean, it could just be she's a very, very pale elf with sharp teeth.
Well, let me ask you this: is she pretty?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, then Blitz would be staring. You know, but it would be difficult to know what they were thinking because the eyes are just sort of glowy. You know.
Yeah, nobody does poker face like a Warforged.
Yeah, so it's just sort of like this. You have no idea what they could be thinking. But they do tilt the head every now and then.
Mavathor will lean back into Lilith and be like, I'm not sure what that is. It looks like something from Avernus, but less crudely made.
I can hear you.
Yes.
It's
How perceptive. Yeah. Oh, it's perceptive too.
I do understand rudeness. I may not have been born. I may have been created, but
And it's condescending. How about that?
Very literal.
Well,
At this point, Mercy's just like pinching the bridge of her nose and shaking her head.
You can't tell if this mechanical thing's offended or not. Just like, we shall work together.
all right. I mean, if you're interested in wiping out this scourge, then we'll gladly accept your help.
It
we
could
know
be
what
as
they're
well the
trying-
help we can get.
So do we know what they're trying to do? Or do we need to ask new crew?
Got some information from one of the captured people, but it didn't really glean too much aside from they're looking for secrets, mostly related to the outer planes.
And the citizen that they spoke to that was kidnapped has been they were fairly brutally tortured. Just interrogated, seemingly asked all kinds of unrelated questions for hours and hours and hours on end, and the cultists, when they didn't like the answers they were given, would pull off fingernails, cut them open, stuff like that.
Unfortunate, but unsurprising.
Well, my friend Jin and I have been vacationing, and we are ready to work. So what could we do to assist at this time?
Well, we're looking and exploring this area. We were about to explore this room over here, and he'll motion to the door at the top of the stairs.
Although we still have, I pull Jin aside. We have the issue with our power.
Oh, yes, well, took me 2 years, but I realized that I have access to the plane shift spell, and in a matter of 2 days, I can plane shift back to Eberron, acquire some dragon shards, and plane shift back.
You could also ask Mercy if she has any to spare.
I was
yes.
gonna say you would probably know that she has them too. They power her ship and her rifle.
Mercy, you have a cache of probably 50 dragon shards.
Oh, okay.
And I only have 20, right?
You have one.
For a single,
which you have one, which is 20
right,
shards. 20 spell casts.
I would probably ask Mercy, were some of the did you? Well, I guess we would ask because she just showed up. Did you bring dragon shards?
Yeah, you guys are probably kind of thirsty for
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
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 Before we proceed, we need to be properly outfitted, and we are low on our power source.
Well, what do you use?
Do you know of dragon shards here?
I do not know what that is.
No, but we have soul coins and Avernus.
Ooh, what does that
Not-
look like?
He'll
Not quite the same technology.
I am an artificer. Couldn't
Yeah.
I create something?
he reaches into his pocket and pulls out a soul coin, and if you get closer and you inspect it as
Do you
like
do
the
you put it in
the
What's
coin
hand?
slot.
Yeah, they put out their hand.
Yeah, sure.
Dial the payphone.
Yeah. He'll hand it over, and it has like the motif of an individual on it.
When you are handed the soul coin, Blitz, why don't you give me an Arcana check?
Oh, okay. Let me see if my beyond 20 extension works. Arcana, huh? Let's see if this works. Did it show up?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, yay!
When
Okay, great.
as soon as the soul coin hits your hand, you feel this like wave of emotions of sorrow and pain, and you sense that there's like an essence inside of the soul coin, something living or once living. And you have like ever since you've been dreaming, whenever you wake up, from a dream, you have this sort of brief wave of, this thing that others call emotions. And you're feeling that from this coin. That thing that you feel when you wake up sometimes from dreaming.
Oh, okay. So, you can't really see anything on Blitz's face, but, like, they completely stop moving. Like, at all. Like, when people stand still, there's still a little bit of, it is nothing for just a second. And the eyes kind of go dim for a moment. And then
we'll look to Chin and be like, "Is that normal? Is your
I
companion supposed to do
think
that?"
you broke it.
And then
You see him flinch a little bit.
And then the
when he
eyes
sees this
brighten up
little
again. The eyes brighten up again. And then Blitz turns to you, Lilith, and says, She. I prefer she.
Oh.
And then back to Mavathor. There's something in this.
Yes.
There's something in this.
Mm-hmm.
Are there many of these? Are there beings?
Oh yeah. There's a lot of them.
But it doesn't feel right. Do they all feel sad?
Not all of them. Some of them are hateful, vindictive, downright wrong, but
There's no happy?
usually not.
Oh, it's a soul trapped in a coin.
Mm-hmm.
Can they be released?
DM.
They're holding the coin out to you and kind of jabbing it, like.
Yeah.
They can be released, Mavathor.
Oh, okay. He's like, yeah, but why would you?
Were they wrongfully trapped?
Usually not.
Oh, well, I don't think I'd want to receive any power from it. You may take it back. And it's like Blitz is going like this.
Yeah, he'll take it and when it's fucking says, "You're lost. These are some seriously powerful things."
But would it harm me? Did it feel harmful or just sad? Ryan.
It didn't feel harmful.
I mean, the machinery in Avernus doesn't degrade with the use of it, so
Well, may I keep one to study further?
sure, why not?
Okay, and then they take it, and then there's a leather like satchel they put it into. Many thanks.
Of course.
I am Blitz. Krieg, but I just prefer Blitz.
Yes, and I am Mavathor. Perhaps you've heard of me?
You seem
Well,
yes.
In the last year?
Would we have heard of Mavathor?
You guys would have. You guys would have definitely heard of Mavathor. Mavathor and Lepus, these two travelers here, most definitely. As they are sort of hailed throughout the Sword Coast as the saviors of Avernus, or the saviors of El Terrell.
Your deeds and stories of your adventures precede you.
There was a bard in I almost said Winterfell. Where am I watching Game of Thrones? In Waterdeep. There was a bard in Waterdeep. What was that tavern? Do you remember? Jin?
The
The Mermaid's Tale? I couldn't go in because it was a lavender bath. You had to sit in a lavender bath around tables, and I was worried that I would rust.
Oh, that was a struggle.
But there was a bard who sung of but I thought maybe it was just a story.
It was the Maiden's Wind. What was the name of the tavern? Why it was named the Maiden's Wind, I don't know. The bartender was an interesting fellow.
I couldn't drink. I don't drink. I can't drink. It's unfortunate. It seems to be fun for many mortals.
Oh no, that's going to make Lepus so sad.
Perhaps you could find something. I am determined to find something that will work for me.
Have you tried oil?
No, I have not tried oil. What kind? I should. I do. I'm a very good cook, which seems strange since I don't eat. But I am a very good cook. I was trained to cook. Oh, I'm starting to develop an accent. This is funny. It'll be different next game, but
That's all right. When you guys meet Cass, all the NPCs after that point are Barovian. So, yeah.
Yeah, I have to keep trying not to fall into it.
Maybe I'll bring the Appalachia out for Chin.
Oh, kitty!
I know we have this new puppy, and I'm in the basement. The cats are stuck in the basement because of the puppy. And so I'm down here, and she's like, "Oh my God, you're finally spending time with me." So she's just.
At this point, I think Mercy is going to step up and with a couple dragon shards in her hand for them.
Oh. The Blitz's eyes really go. Thank you. Did you brought these? This isn't going to burden you giving this. This is for us.
It is for you because you have always had reliable intel, and I am willing to offer more if the two of you will accompany us so that I may discuss certain events with you after this is over.
Yes, absolutely. Eyes.
Yep.
I'm not
We were
trying
going to
to
do that
leave
anyway.
this quaint place. That is what Jin has said. It is quaint. In some respects, that is not an insult.
They are. It is an interesting realm.
Although
bit
a
primitive.
light rail would be very useful here. There's a very
Light
long
rail.
travel.
Ryan, how many dragon shards do you think they would need, not shut down?
Great question. Are we basing my spell slots on dragon shards?
If you have dragon shards, then you can every time you cast a spell, or fire your gun, it consumes one charge.
And there's 20 charges
For you,
per shard.
20 per shard. Yeah, it's like a quiver of arrows. So 20 per.
I mean, because I have spells as well.
Yeah. So same for you. Anytime you cast a spell, it's like firing an arrow from your quiver. If you guys did run out of dragon shards, you would have to find a way to attune to the weave, the magic of this world, to be able to cast again.
Would we have done any? I mean, this is a little retconny, I guess, but have we? Knowing we were going low, we probably wouldn't be totally doofusy around not investigating a way for alternate power. I'm hoping. Not just hanging out and trying to get
why don't you both give me some Arcana checks?
Okay. Or maybe I don't know, it'd be cool if we could start building toward.
No, you guys have been here a while, so just give me some Arcana checks.
Yeah.
Give me some Arcana checks.
I'm not asking for a gimme. It's more like, we have to slowly build our way.
It makes sense. We're developing, we're building as we go. It's just a part of the game.
Sorry, did you say Arcana?
Arcana, yeah.
Okay. Oh, why didn't it go through? It says virtual. Oh, I know. I am on the wrong page. Sorry.
So yeah, the two of you have learned to attune to the magic of this world, to the weave. So you can still cast spells if you run out of dragon shards. It's just that your gun won't fire, Jin, and Pam, you do power down if you don't have a dragon shard, within a 30-foot radius that still has power.
Okay, so I have to have at least a single dragon shard.
Yeah, Jin will make sure that you have always have one at all times.
I am capable of taking care of myself, Jin, but thank you.
Yes, indeed. How many shards from Mercy?
It's up to Mercy.
You said I have 50, right?
Yep. Yeah.
What about 2 for each now? Because she knows they usually don't do field work with the promise of more after.
Sure. Yeah, it's up to you.
I'll take it.
2?
We'll take it.
2.
So 40 shots of magic stuff. If I've got
Yeah,
that
she
right.
knows you guys are
okay.
always reliable on your intel, and she knows you don't do field work, so consider it hazard pay.
I'm
If you
not
need help carrying any additional dragon
yeah.
shards.
General mentioned that he is not unfamiliar with field work. It's just been some time since he has done this sort of.
And it sounds like Blitz is just did mostly field work before the war ended.
I guess. Oh yeah. That was the Blitzkrieg
Yeah.
in the battles.
I guess I should say they probably haven't done a lot of field work in the time Mercy has known them, since she is.
Yeah,
I mean, I
much
don't
younger
know
than the two of them.
how long has the war been over for. If it's been a couple years, they've been
You guys probably left shortly after the war ended. So since the war ended, Blitz, you spent most of your time post-war in Faerun. Actually, it sounds like.
Oh, all right. Darn it! I was like, I had this whole fantasy life in Sharn, where I was
Well,
telling everyone I was
you guys could have gone like 6 months or so, after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a bodyguard for a little old lady.
I'm not gonna take your. I'm not gonna take your
I had
fantasy
meant to
life
ask
away from you. Yeah.
what
I
was
was
the
driving
timeline?
Miss Daisy.
You were gonna ask
Back
what,
in
Jen?
the
Sorry.
show.
How long has it been since the war's ended?
It's been about 2 years. I guess we could
Oh,
say
okay.
since you guys won a little bit of time between, it could have been.
Yeah, give me a year.
Could have been like
in
maybe 3 or 4 years. 3 or 4 years since the war's ended.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool
We
because
putzed around Eberron for a little bit before going to winter.
Yeah, for sure.
now does the rest of the I guess I could just ask them in role play. But we're in the middle of a creepy place, so there's stuff to investigate, right? We can't really have we're not sitting around the fire.
I'm not
right
going to at the moment push you guys forward if you don't. You guys can interact as much as you want.
Okay.
There's enough sort of space. If there was like an imminent threat that was near enough that they would interrupt you, I might do that. But you got a flow going, so I'm not gonna.
Okay.
Yeah, my simulacrum is keeping guard.
My Blitz would probably just say, "Well, we are here. You are more versed than we are at the current situation. What is it that you need assistance with in the moment?"
Oh, we or rather, we are here to provide you with additional resources and assistance. So,
And we now
how
have
would
some
you like
power.
to employ us?
Well, my original quarry was found, and then upon their death were sucked into some odd portal, which Mavathor informs me leads to Avernus, where they have residence. So I am helping them with their quest in exchange for transportation there.
Ah,
I've always wanted to go to Avernus.
It's lovely this time of year.
Maybe I shall take a
Never-
trip down with you guys.
never a dull moment in hell, as they say. I can, it's within my power to transport the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us.
It would be
Question mark.
It would be
It would be
7 technically if Fangs goes.
To Avernus.
Lepus is just not here this week.
Yeah. If Avernus is your destination of choice, it is within my power to transport you there.
I have already made a deal with these people, and I do not break my word. So I must finish this first.
Yes, and I can
All
also ensure safe travel across Avernus. It's
That sounds very useful.
yes, believe me, me and Lep were there before, and it's not nice.
I am kind of curious about how Mavathor is going to sort of reshape the landscape of Avernus in his own image, but maybe we can deal with that when we get there.
Hmm.
Is this a place we need to go to immediately?
No,
Oh
as
my
of
god,
right
that
now.
music.
This is the symbol above the door that you guys are sort of. There's this landing that they were kind of going up, and above the door, this symbol is painted.
Yep, that's a Vecna holy symbol, all right. Uh, well, Mercy, Blitz and I are at your disposal. We shall proceed at your leisure.
And Ryan, would we know anything like, okay, so it's Whispered King in Eberron. How much would you, with the war going on, is information about the Whispered King, is it just like stories told, like legend, or is there really this idea that the Whispered King, or were we getting a sense that there's influence in Eberron?
There are rumors that have gone around since the Day of Mourning that
Okay.
there's all kinds of conspiracies about the Day of Mourning. One of them is that the Whispered King came and ruined the lands.
Okay.
To get himself some new followers. It's one of the rumors.
Oh, so literally the mourning, the actual, and the Mournland itself was created by the Whispered King. That's one of the rumors.
That's one of the rumors going around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whether it's true or
Any
not.
connection to the Lord of Blades being in the Mournland, or rumors to that effect?
The last that the Lord of Blades has been heard or seen was entering into the Mournlands.
Okay. All right. So there's just no. Okay. Interesting.
Would this be a good time to bring in the data from my drone that I received?
Yeah, actually, there's like a little a bird that flies in past the two of you, Blitz and Jin, and it lands on Mercy's shoulder. It kind of moves its head around in a bit of a mechanical fashion. And before it arrived, you had received the transmission from your drone, Mercy, but the drone actually returns itself after as well.
Once the bird is with her, can she check her data pad for the results?
Yeah, you just flick it on and you can kind of look over it. I kind of forgot what I even typed to you, so this will be interesting for me as well.
Oh, I have it.
Nice.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, she's addressing you.
Okay.
How much do you know about that Cass you traveled here with?
Not very much, only that he is from a different domain of the dread, and he likes women. He likes women.
Would you be interested in knowing of his talk with Lord Neverember?
I would, because I know nothing about him and I don't trust him.
Probably good not to. Let's see what I got here from my little birdie. And she's just going to scroll on the data pad for a moment.
I gotta say, I'm probably never gonna get over like the mix of the sci-fi fantasy. I've been wanting to do kind of sci-fi game for a long time.
This group is like in the data pad.
Yeah.
It's
So
yeah, it's a weird mix.
I'm gonna like really enjoy the mixture of the two settings.
I have the excuse of being very old.
I probably run Eberron at a higher tech than it is supposed to be, but you know, it seems more fun to me that way. So
Whatever works.
Also, if you two are interested, the bird might remind you a little bit of Blitz now that it's close up.
It's a little more mechanically.
Yeah, not something that you can tell until it's close up.
Okay.
Yeah, kind
Because
of.
technically it's a drone.
Kind of.
Well, yeah, as you said, drone, and then bird. I was like, I wrote drone, bird-like.
It's got like a bit of a whirring sound every once in a while to it.
Mhm.
I picture
So-
Jin as being sort of the old man on the porch, like his only concession to the modern technology is the gun he carries. Everything
let's
else is the old
see.
way.
Cass told Neverember his lands had been overrun with powerful undead whose eyes were filled with wicked energy of a god with many names. Does that sound familiar at all?
That does sound familiar. He did say that his domain was overrun by undead.
It seems he is trying to curry favor with Neverember by expressing concern the same fate may happen here.
That's how
He has found-
That's how he enlisted me. You could say.
He
I was
claims in the
never really gonna
Shadowfell
follow
there's a
him. Sorry, go ahead.
He claims in the Shadowfell he has found a dark reflection of Neverwinter called Evernight, with a high concentration of these undead, and suspicion that it would be a growing army for Vecna.
I've been to the Shadowfell before. Not very far, but I've never heard of that.
Does that ring any bells? Evernight?
It depends on if your Shadowkai was from the Shadowfell or was from the continent of the undead on Eberron.
We'll say that we started out in the Shadowfell before coming to Eberron.
You could give me a history investigation check, I guess. Then knowledge acquired from being here.
I'll take investigation because it's a bigger number.
Yeah, you guys kind of learned a bit about the cosmology of Faerun and Toril, and the material plane is kind of split into three ways. There's a Feywild, which is kind of a reflection of the material plane, filled with life, and Shadowfell, that's kind of a reflection of the material plane that's filled with death. And in prominent places on the material plane, like cities and places where important events have taken place, there are these dark reflections of whatever lies on the material plane in that area. So Evernight is a city like Neverwinter, a mirror of Neverwinter filled with undead.
I am familiar with Evernight. It is a unpleasant reflection of Neverwinter.
Oh, lovely.
Filled with undead and has none of Neverwinter's frozen charms.
At this point, you might notice that Mercy has gotten very still, and her grip on her data pad has become very tight.
Everything all right, Mercy?
Have any of you encountered undead with an odd maroon light in their eyes.
Question mark?
I think it was it Violet in Barovia? Or was it maroon?
It's kind of a maroon color. The color of the
Yeah.
the landing screen or the cover sheet.
Mhm.
It's the same color of like the magic here coming out of Vecna's
Oh,
hands.
okay.
Yeah.
I have indeed. It
Um,
Do
possessed
you know what
some
they
of
are or
the.
where they come from?
The only thing that he told me was it had to do with Vecna. Or at least he thought it had to do with Vecna.
might be related, but recently the River Styx in Avernus has been churning out undead rather than Lemures.
A lot of the puzzle pieces seem to be coming together now.
Yeah.
At this point, you'll see that her claws seem to be getting longer and she's struggling not to. Jin,
Aye.
I need to know about these things as much as we can find out.
Shall be done.
And she'll look at you and just. You're looking at the last Hell Rose because of those things.
I'd say you'd see him wince, but he's wearing a mask, so.
We're not going to be gathering any
love it.
intelligence by standing here, so I suggest we clear this place out.
Yep.
Shall we enter this torture chamber that we've heard about?
Is anyone else seeing a black screen?
Is your token?
There we are.
I thought I gave your token dark vision.
I'm good.
Pam, does
I see it
do Warforged have dark vision?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I only see just a small portion of the screen.
Yeah.
The rest is black. Wait.
If I gave you nothing, you'd.
Yeah. I don't think they have dark vision, do they? Let me look on my sheet. Where would it have that? Under traits, right? Description.
Yeah, down in traits, I think probably.
Racial traits. I don't think so. I don't think they have. I think they would just be baked into them. But
how does Blitz deal with darkness?
Uses a dragon shard to brighten their eyes like headlights. Could we do that?
Yeah, you could do that.
Then I could use a charge. I could use a charge.
It would last 24 hours. I'd say you could do that. Sure.
Yeah, and then I'll mark a charge.
I'm all for creative ways of using your
okay. Why don't we do that?
consumables.
Yeah. It does seem kind of. I mean, it would have to create some light though, but they can.
No, I'll give you. I'll give you.
Okay.
I'll give you some more vision.
Because they have these eyes that are sort of lighting up.
How about now? Can you see farther now?
Oh. Sorry, I went off that screen because I was messing around. Yeah, I do see farther now.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
Well, why don't we take our mid-session break right here? 5-minute break before you guys head through to the next area of the mausoleum here. It's a good spot.
Okay.
So I'll see you guys in 5.
Okay.
Time for a beer.